Hey guys, welcome to the first ever episode of the Beacon Arts podcast. I'm Bryce Bible. I'm the new digital producer here at the Daily Beacon, and I'm very excited to bring you some Tennessee arts.
I'm Dina Baker, and I'm a junior at UT.
My name is Allie Klaus, and I'm the arts and culture editor for the Beacon.
So as you guys probably know if you're watching this, we will be releasing every Wednesday. So be sure to stay tuned, subscribe to us on Google Play and iTunes. But let's get right into it. So today, some of us actually came from there, was the annual Knoxville Asian Festival. So have either of you gone to that before?
Yeah, I actually went today, yeah.
Did you get any food or anything?
I didn't. The lines were really long, but
Yeah.
it smelled really good.
It's worth it though. Like I was standing in line for a tea, and there was like a group of Japanese people yelling at me like, "Hey, we don't have a line," because nobody saw their booth there. So I got sushi there. It's good.
Yeah.
It was good. Have you guys seen any of the performers there before?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the MTSU Chinese music ensemble. They were really great.
Yeah, they're really talented performers. Have you seen anything there before?
I haven't been to the Asian one. I went to there's like a Hispanic festival that I went to, and I know the German one is coming up. So.
Really? I didn't know they had other multicultural festivals there. Awesome. Well, so what else has been going on lately? What have you brought?
Well, we've been wanting to talk about Taylor Swift.
Taylor
And the recent drama that's been going on. So I don't know. I realized that it was really easy for me to hate Taylor Swift based on memes I saw about her. So I decided to do my research and just get, the facts and decide what opinion should I have based on what actually happened. So I kind of got her entire career from beginning to end. And I realized that, she kind of this whole started in 2009 VMAs. You guys remember when Kanye West grabbed the microphone over? Yeah, so, and he was like, I'm going to let you finish, but Beyonce actually had the best music video. And so it was really interesting how he said that and what he justified it with. He said that he was like a soldier for the culture. And I think what he was getting at is that there is an underrepresentation of people of color in the arts. And so, in his mind, I think he was working towards a noble cause when he said that, even though, he interrupted somebody on stage.
Yeah. It's a tricky line because if you have a cause, oftentimes it will make someone really mad, even if it is a valid cause. Either way, you can have some problems with that.
Yeah, and then there was a whole deal a couple years later in 2016 when he released his album Life of Pablo. Not gonna lie, I was listening to the album on a loop for 4 months after it came out. But there was that one line in the song where I think you'll know it.
Yeah,
in the song Famous. Should I say
Yeah.
it? Should I say the line?
You can if we have to cut it out. That's
Okay. Well, it goes like this.
Sing it
goes
for
like
us, Dina.
this. Get it, Dina.
I feel like me and Taylor might still have sex. Why I made that bitch famous. And obviously she got offended at it. I think anybody would have gotten offended.
That's a reasonable.
Yeah.
Based on what she said back then, is that she didn't know about the line, and this whole it went on for a really long time. Kanye got a lot of backlash for it. Then his wife kind of, I think in an attempt to relieve some of the backlash, she actually released a video which was proof that Taylor Swift actually had knowledge of the line.
Oh yeah, that leaked phone call, right?
Yeah, he actually said the entire line to her on the phone.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, I think it's cool.
Okay.
It's pretty... Yeah. She totally approved it. And so I guess based on everything, I found out, I think, Taylor might not be the best person, but at the end of the day, I think you can still enjoy the art without liking the artist.
I agree.
Yeah. We hate Taylor Swift. Going off that, Taylor Swift just released Look What You Made Me Do, and there was a lot of drama surrounding that before and after because she released a 10-second snake video that everyone saw on social media, and then everyone's like, oh, Dark Taylor is coming, and people were super excited. She released it, and I don't think it was what people were expecting.
Right.
Did she also delete all her social media accounts?
Yeah.
Did she?
I don't understand.
It was really weird.
So how many followers does she have now after deleting her account?
I don't think she lost any.
Oh.
She's Taylor Swift.
Oh, yeah.
We met.
That's what happens
And
if
then,
you're famous.
Then the music video came out, and the whole cultural appropriation with her copying Lemonade came up. So it's kind of like full circle. On
It's a little bit ironic because I guess Kanye was mad that, the white woman won the award. And he thought, it's not that the video was necessarily bad, Taylor's video. I think he was just mad that, these people have won before, We're the people of color. Where's their recognition?
Yeah.
And it's just funny. It's just ironic that her video ended up emulating Beyonce's video.
Huh.
And,
Well, it's interesting to see where this will go. I think we'll have to check back in with the situation here in a few weeks once some new developments happen, because it's happening as we speak.
Yes,
I mean, stuff that's
true.
going on. But to pull back to a little bit more local, do you guys ever go to shows at the Clarence Brown Theater?
No.
You've never gone to a show?
haven't
Well,
been.
I went to
I
a
haven't
play
been.
a long time ago. I went to a play.
What do you know what play?
No, it was so long ago. It was for a class in high school.
If you have never been to a show at the Clarence Brown Theater, this goes for all UT students. You can get free tickets to the preview showings. So I believe those are Wednesdays and Thursdays. The first one is in like 3 days. It's this coming Wednesday. You just go up to the box office, say you'd like a ticket to the preview show, and they just hand you a free ticket. And for every other showing except the opening night, it's $5 for tickets. So I would highly recommend going. The show that they're doing on Wednesday is called Peter and the Starcatcher. So it's actually sort of a backstory to Peter Pan. It's the story of how an orphan boy became Peter Pan. Now, I saw Peter Pan here in Knoxville when I was like 4 or 5 with my great aunt. And I'm really excited to have something that ties into that coming back. And one of the lead roles, I think, what's his name? Smitty? The little pirate guy from Peter Pan?
Smee.
Yeah.
Smee.
Yeah, okay, that. He's being played by David Bryan Alley. Now, if you guys haven't gone to the Clarence Brown, then his name won't mean anything to you. But he has been in just about every show at the Clarence Brown as long as I've been going. And he is a super talented guy. So, to all UT students, anybody that's not a UT student, if you can make it to a Clarence Brown show, definitely do. Like, you guys should come, and we should like talk about it next week, what we thought. Because I'm going. I got my tickets already. And if you guys aren't there, I'm ashamed of you.
I'm
ashamed. I'll be ashamed. So you better be there. But what else has been going on this week?
So I've been wanting to talk about how Sophia Coppola, who she has a movie out in theaters right now. It's called The Beguiled. It actually won. She won the award for Best Director at the Cannes Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to talk about how I've noticed in a lot of her movies that she's kind of subtly feminist. And subtle is a word that film critics love to use, but
Right.
it's a really cool film technique. So the first time she's ever done this is in The Virgin Suicides, which was her first movie, I think. It's based off of a book written by Jeffrey Eugenides. It's basically just a narration of a story where these 5 sisters decided to kill themselves, and it's kind of
It's kind of dark.
Yeah, well, it's
Yeah.
a very youthful story, but
Youthful and suicide.
I mean, it's kind of like an attempt to understand why it happened.
Okay.
And so the book, I think, in the book, it's narrated by the teenage boys that live in their neighborhood, and I think that the book kind of gives off the point of view that the girls were docile and they didn't have their own thoughts.
Right.
And I think Sophia, in the movie, she turned this around by answering the question, subtly answering it, as why did they kill themselves? And it was because their parents were very conservative, and it was
Right.
almost as if it wasn't just the neighborhood boys that were sexualizing these girls, it was their own parents.
Oh.
And for that reason,
Right.
and I think she was trying to justify the women in the story, and that's what she does in a lot of her movies. She justifies the women. Second time I noticed this was in Marie Antoinette, which is a movie about Marie Antoinette, who was the wife of King Louis XVI in France.
Oh.
And the movie is about, from when she marries into the French throne
Ooh.
up until the
I like
early
France.
stages of the French Revolution. Yeah, and so Marie Antoinette, in history, everyone hated her. Everyone blamed her for the fall of France and for the poverty and the hunger.
It's all that
And I
cake
think-
she was eating, man.
Yeah, I mean, okay, I don't know if that actually happened, but I think in Sophia's movie, she really tried to, get into the real reason why Marie Antoinette, was a lavish spender. And she really, like, examined the fact that, she was forced to leave home early.
Right.
And, she had to leave everything from her home behind. And so, leaving her family behind, it really caused a lot of emotional grief on her. And that was kind of the reason why she took to spending so much and to those irresponsible habits that resulted in the poverty in France. And so the third movie that she does this in is in The Beguiled, which is in theaters right now. It's it was originally a movie that came out in the 70s. And it's about, these women who were in a school, and it's during the Civil War, and they find, like, a soldier from the opposing side in the woods, and they take him in, and the movie in the 70s really, like, portrays these women as crazy, and they end up, like, killing the guy that they took in. And Sophia's movie, she doesn't retell the story, like, in any inaccurate way.
Right.
She keeps the facts, but she tells it in a way that justifies the women, how she, like, portrays it as in, she's not, like, an angry feminist.
So, like, in a way, she's taking, like, a known story and sort of changing it, but just through the subtleties of the story.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
That's really cool. I like that. It's interesting to see, like, a new depth added to something that you're already at least somewhat familiar with.
Yeah.
That's cool.
True.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So, what else?
So also this weekend, Friday, lots of new music was released. I feel like everyone who, like, had music just released on the same day.
All at the same time.
So you had Taylor Swift's new song. There was a new album from Lil Uzi Vert. There was a new album from XXX Tentacion. And then ASAP Mob. They all released their own albums.
Have you listened to them?
I have listened to them. They're like, I've listened to every part of every album.
Huh.
Very long, very different than
Right.
what they were expected to be.
Right, totally different, like, style.
Especially XXX. His album this time was expected to be, like, if you've heard any of his songs, they're just almost really angry, kind of
well, with a
screaming
name
at
like
you,
that.
kind of rap. I mean, which isn't bad. He had, like, a couple good songs, party songs. But then this entire album, it actually starts off with the intro is the explanation. And it's just him talking. And he's like, hey, this is my album. It's, like,
artsy.
really personal. And
Like that concert that Kanye West just stopped at,
he
just
got
started
really
talking on
deep
stage.
and really personal, and he was like, I hope you enjoy it. And then that's kind of the end of that, and then it goes into the album, which is, I don't know, almost everything bad. It's very dark and gloomy. I like it.
I'm sensing a pattern in today's episode of violence and gloom.
Yeah, that was this week.
Yeah. That's this year, arguably.
Yeah. And then, so his album, very different than what was expected. Lil Uzi Vert was kind of the same, not really. His album was expected to be at least somewhat upbeat. Most of the songs weren't slow, but they just weren't, they're not going to be hits or anything.
Right.
And then ASAP Mob, of course, you have, like, Frank Ocean, Migos, everyone in there. Not as good as I thought it'd be.
Yeah.
So.
I'll have to check them out. I have not been listening to new music lately, but perhaps I should.
Sometimes it doesn't seem good the first time you listen.
Yeah,
It
it takes a while.
listens.
Yeah.
You got to get used to, like, the style as well. If it's a totally new genre, you're gonna be like, what is this?
Yeah,
Right.
I hear that with a lot of artists. They're, not every album sounds the same.
Yeah. It's good to see a change in a musician. But on a similar theme, I suppose you could say, today in Knoxville there was a tattoo convention. Now, I don't have any tattoos. I don't necessarily plan to get any tattoos. But they're bringing a lot of interesting stuff to Knoxville. They're having some strange events. Actually, it's in the Knoxville Convention Center today, like a lot of events are. But have you guys ever heard of human suspension?
No.
It's as dark as it sounds.
I don't like it.
I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they are bringing an interesting side of things to Knoxville. That's a culture that is a part of Knoxville that a lot of people aren't aware of, and I had some friends that were going there. I was actually having them look to see, as a techie guy, something I am super interested in is biomods. Now, if you know anything about biomods, my plan is to get a chip in my hand, similar to the chip like a cat has, and a magnet in my finger, which lets me actually feel electromagnetic waves. Makes me kind of a superhero. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Every
why
time.
would you want to feel?
Why not?
waves?
Why not? You can sense things. I've every time I mention the chip, people start yelling at me. Oh, that's like the mark of the beast and stuff like that.
Oh.
I don't think that's the mark of the beast. I'm not really. That's not what I'm trying to sign up for here.
What would the purpose of
Yeah.
it be?
So the chip could sort of suffice as an ID card. So you know how you have your UT Vol ID and you can tap it on some doors to open it?
Yeah.
Or you could, some car keys, you just tap the keys.
Yeah.
I could replace the keys with my hand. So instead of having my keys stolen, I'd have my hand stolen, which...
So it would work for everything like that.
It's some people have actually used it like Apple Pay. You can touch your hand.
gosh.
Now I don't know if there's anyone that was at the convention today that could do that, because sadly I wasn't able to look. But there's a person in Nashville, one of the only licensed people in Tennessee that can do it. And I've been planning this for a long time, but I've never had a chance to. So if I do that, you guys will be the first to hear. But
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
We've gone as far as to integrate technology inside of us.
there's some
That's
weird
insane.
levels. I mean, people even put like LED lights in their arms and
I
stuff.
did
I would
not
never
know
do
that.
that. That looks painful. But anyways, so what else we got? Anything news happening?
I don't know what to say after that.
I've scarred you permanently.
That's crazy to
Scarred.
think about.
Well, if you want a scarred design, the tattoo convention.
Wow.
Mm,
Is
yeah.
it safe?
Yeah, no, it's been designed and developed, actually. The chip, the magnet has a few more problems than the chip. The chip, it's sort of a needle the size of like a coffee straw, like one of those red little stirrers, but they just stick it in your hand and go, and then it's in, just like a cat.
Okay.
Just like
a cat.
The magnet, the magnets had a few cases of sort of shattering inside of people, which is why I'm not as certain about that one.
So
Yeah.
what would the purpose of the magnet be?
So the magnet, you can feel the ferrousness of metals. I'm a huge nerd, but that means the magnet sort of vibrates when it's around something that causes the magnet to vibrate. So if I were to hold my finger next to a running microwave, I could tell if the microwave were on or off. If I were to hold it up to a metal, I could tell you what kind of metal that is.
Can you look at the microwave?
It's not really necessary at all. I mean, there's absolutely no reason that is like pushing me to do this, except for the fact that I just want to.
Well, looks like we have something
Cats can
for
do it.
huge nerds to enjoy.
Yeah. So did you guys watch the eclipse this past week?
I did.
I watched it from my bedroom.
What did you guys think about it? Have you ever seen an eclipse before, I guess, first
No,
off?
I haven't.
You watched it from your
No.
bedroom. Hold on. You didn't even go outside.
I didn't
window.
even go outside.
How?
Wow.
I
What?
didn't even open my blinds. I just like cracked them enough where
You're
I
just
could
like,
see
oh yeah,
outside.
it's dark, I think.
Because
Might
I
just be a
didn't-
cloud.
Well,
but
I didn't have. I wasn't ready for the day at all, even though it was like midday.
like 2
I just
o'clock in
gotten
the
out of the
afternoon.
shower. I still had my towel wrapped around my head. I wasn't about to go outside, so I didn't want people to see me from the window. So I just like looked out the little slits
I'm ashamed.
and saw it get dark for like a minute, and then
That's
That's
just.
cute. I think that's pretty
That's
cute.
cute.
I mean, but like, you know what? You do you, man.
I had just gone out of work and I was
Mhm.
like running up the stairs. And it turned dark while I was running up the stairs because I was trying to meet my friend to get my glasses from her. And I heard the cicadas and I was like, oh my gosh.
It was
Circles.
amazing.
Yes.
To plug ourselves, the UT Daily Beacon actually posted a 360 video of the eclipse. So if you go to our Facebook or our YouTube, on Lake in the Sky in Maryville, Tennessee, you can see a beautiful 360 and look around and stuff. And some of our photographers and writers have also been talking about it. So check out the website if you'd like to see more information about that. It was beautiful. I expected it to be pretty cool, but I didn't expect it to be like just like that. I mean, I guess if you guys were inside during the eclipse,
I got kind of scared. I'm not gonna lie.
the dogs started howling all around
I
you.
saw it get dark and all the lights came on, and then I was like, "Is the sun going to come back out?" Or
And that's why, for
I was
many
scared
years,
for a
people
second.
thought the eclipse was the sign of the end of time.
Oh, wow.
they were just stupid.
Well, I mean, I don't know. So thank you guys for joining us for the very first Beacon Arts podcast. Like I said, every Wednesday, tune in. It'll be on Google Play, it'll be on iTunes, it'll be on SoundCloud, YouTube, hopefully Facebook. We may even do some live podcasts sometime. If you have a suggestion for something you'd like us to talk about or something for us to check out, please send it in. Also, check out Checkerboard Chat on Mondays. Check out the UT Daily Beacon's website and share us with your friends. I'm excited for a year of arts and culture. Thanks for tuning in, guys.